Mitchell, Mr. Mitchell, there you go.
There it
Doesn't
is.
appear via Zoom audio visual. Would announce at this time pursuant to plea negotiations, Mr. Mitchell is going to enter a plea of guilty to count one, flee and elude, and then count three, driving 70 and a 50. States agreed to dismiss, no proof of insurance.
Count one, flee and elude, and count three, 70 and 50. And Mr. Regier, is that your agreement?
That is the state's understanding, Your Honor.
Mr. Mitchell, how do you plead to fleeing or attempting to elude a law enforcement officer by failing or refusing to come to a stop when indicated to do so?
Guilty.
And how do you plead to speeding 70 in a 50-mile-per-hour zone?
Guilty.
Is anyone making you enter this plea today by any threats or promises other than your plea agreement?
No, ma'am.
So you're pleading guilty because you believe you are in fact are guilty.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me what you did that would make you guilty of count one.
I got pulled over and I had gave the officer my ID and I was riding with someone and the officer came back to my car and told me it was like 11 or 12 at night. And he told me to step out so we could talk about my car insurance. And so I got scared. So I just kept on, like I just left, like sped off.
Okay.
But I talked to my lawyer about it, and my lawyer said the reason why he was trying to search my car was due to other reasons, and I didn't get that. Like, he didn't tell me that.
All right. Well, we don't have anything before me on searching the car that I'm aware. But you were going 70 in a 50-mile-per-hour zone and got
Yes.
pulled over for that?
No, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. I didn't get pulled over for that. I got the flee and eluding, and then that's when I was going 70 in the 50, miss.
Okay, you're going 70 to 50 while you were trying to get away. Okay. Well, I will accept. Where did this happen?
Butler, I want to say Butler County. I'm not too familiar with Butler County.
Mr. Regier, what would your evidence show as far as jurisdiction?
One moment, Your Honor. Your Honor, pursuant to paragraph 4 of the affidavit, the officer knows that he observed and paced a vehicle, quote, westbound on Highway 254 crossing over the I-35 bridge. The state's understanding is that that is in close proximity to El Dorado city limits, well within Butler County boundaries.
Okay, I find the defendant guilty of fleeing and eluding and driving 70 and a 55. Recommendations for sentencing, counsel?
Yes, Your Honor. On count one, pursuant to plea negotiations, the state is prepared to not recommend a fine, but court costs, which I believe are $108 in this matter, as well as defer to the court on the issue of attorney's fees. As count one does appear to be charged as a Class B misdemeanor, the state is recommending the maximum underlying sentence of 6 months, as well as a 12-month reporting probation, subject to all standard conditions, including a $60 probation fee. For count three, the speeding, the state has agreed to recommend the scheduled fine. Additionally, pursuant to KSA 8254, it does appear to provide that, provide for the certain suspension of a defendant's driver's license for these types of convictions. However, pursuant to subsection B, quote, in lieu of revoking a defendant's driving privileges as provided by subsection A, the court in which the person is convicted or adjudicated may place restrictions on the defendant's driving privileges as provided by KSA 8292 and amendments thereto, unless the violation was committed while operating a commercial vehicle. The state is prepared to recommend that the court restrict the defendant's driver's license for a period of 1 year, which would appear to be the maximum time allowed by law under KSA 8292 subsection B.
No. Do I set the restrictions for that, or will the Department of Motor Vehicles?
Your Honor, subsection B of KSA 8254 provides, in lieu of revoking a person's driving privileges as provided in subsection A, the court in which the person is convicted or adjudicated may place restrictions.
All right. And I presume restrictions would be to and from work, church, medical emergencies.
Yes, Judge, on, we'd ask court to adopt recommendations, but also on the restrictions, we'd ask court that it be to and from work, to and from court matters or probation matters. Also to and from the school to pick up and drop off his children. I see that the legislature saw that as something that should be added, so
Yeah.
we'd ask court to allow that to also be added as a restriction.
And your Honor, although that particular issue on specific restrictions was not discussed during plea negotiations, to the state understanding, KSA 8292 subsection A does appear to allow restrictions under item 6 as, quote, to such places as may be specified by the order.
Okay. Where do you work, Mr. Mitchell?
Well, I'm in between jobs right now, so I'm just working doing landscaping work for my cousin right now. So wherever he called me, I'm just going around, doing the landscape working.
Well, I don't want work release to be so vague that you can say, well, I'm doing landscaping anytime you want to go out and drive.
I understand that, man, but I got a family to feed, and you know what I mean? So if my
Well,
cousin
why don't you have a full-time regular job?
because due to this right now that I'm getting this understood and getting this all up under me, I could go get a real job again. Well, I got fired from my job due to this matter. I was
What kind
working
of
for
job did
Furniture
you have?
Medic.
What kind
Furniture
of
Medic.
job?
I did upholstery.
Oh, a
Furniture
upholstery?
Medic. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, at this time, on count 1, no fine, but controlling 6 months. Count 2, $105 scheduled fine. Court costs of $108. Attorney fees of $250 because I believe you can work, should work. $60 supervision fee. I am putting you on a 12-month reporting probation. You must contact probation. They're probably closed during the lunch hour, but try them, and if they are, call them back later after lunch. 12 months, and their number is 316.
Hold on.
Ready?
Yes, ma'am.
31.
Well, may I say something before you finish this?
No, don't call that number. That's Mr. Patterson's number. Let's try again.
Say I got that number.
Yeah, let's call probation. You call them as soon as we're through and until you get them. Now, did you have a question there?
Yes, ma'am. I was asking, like, could this be suspended? This is my first offense, so I'm getting 12 months to report to somebody on my first offense case, first case ever.
Due to the nature of the charge, fleeing and eluding, yes.
12 months reported probation
Reporting probation.
for a first time offense.
Well, if you don't like that, you can serve your sentence.
It's okay.
All standard conditions of probation will apply. You must pay your fines and costs. At least 1/12 of the total will be due on the 13th day of each month, with the first payment being due February 13th, 2025. In lieu of driver's license suspension, your license is restricted to and from work, church, medical emergencies, court appointments, and transporting children, your children. Do you have any children?
Yes, ma'am.
Do they go to school?
Yes, ma'am.
How old are they?
8 and 1 on the way.
Transporting your child or children to and from school. All right, anything else, folks?
Your Honor, is the court ordering a specific time frame for the restriction?
Restrictions shall start today,
And for how long, Your Honor?
1 year.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right, if there's nothing further, go and call your probation officer, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.